Today's Morning First Alert Weather Show is brought to you by Sam Bernstein Law.
Happy Friday, Mid-Michigan. I'm First Alert meteorologist Matthew Mondro here with your morning First Alert weather show. Just tracking another First Alert forecast update for the Valentine's weekend and as we look ahead into next week. And I will say right now, really not much has changed in the forecast for the next several days. So we're still looking at a very pleasant Valentine's weekend. This stretch of quiet weather and unseasonably warm weather should be able to last all the way up until about Wednesday next week. Really, it's not until Wednesday that we really start to see some changes to our weather pattern here once again. After all, it is still February, so we still potentially could have some more cold weather or even some snow left on the table too, but at least for the time being, weather conditions are going to be pretty quiet for now, especially through this Friday and as we go into the weekend. I actually do want to show you I-75 in Flint Township first. This is right near Miller Road. We're looking south towards GM Flint Assembly. Take a look at that, just beautiful out there right now. It's been a great start to the day. We've had a lot of sun. Granted, it was pretty cold this morning because of the clear skies and the calm conditions, but just really hold the track with the sun for the majority of today. Could see maybe a couple of fair weather clouds popping up this afternoon, especially if you're farther north in our area, places like East Tawas or Oscoda. That's certainly a possibility, but again, really looking just at a nice bright Friday, and we'll see temps starting to warm back up. Should be almost 10 degrees warmer than we were yesterday. Temperatures right now, though, in Flint, for example, still only about 21 degrees there. We do have 27 in Owasso already, though, and in Mount Pleasant, Houghton Lake is showing 19. We have 22 in Bay City, then about 15 in Bad Axe. So we are slowly but steadily warming up, and we should actually have some fairly impressive high temps later on this afternoon, too. So I do think 40 is going to be within reach, especially towards Flint or even here in Saginaw. Once you go north of the Bay region, more so upper 30s, and that's going to also be the case in the thumb, especially the northern thumb for today. So good rule of thumb with these temperatures here for the afternoon is that we'll see upper 30s to about 40 degrees. Again, certainly warmer than the last 2 days. Will be a little bit breezy though, so we have a southwest wind that's going to gust to about 25 miles per hour by this afternoon. So there will be just a little bit of a breeze at times as we go throughout the course of this Friday. Now the weekend, on the other hand, though, not tracking much wind at all. In fact, it actually should be a calm day tomorrow, and then on Sunday we just have about a 5 to 10 mile per hour wind from the southwest. So with this over the weekend, certainly just a calm weekend, you could say, given the lack of wind that we're expecting out there. But you see this weekend planner tomorrow and Sunday, decent amount of sunshine. We'll be up to about 39 for tomorrow, and then we'll be up to about 43 on Sunday. So Sunday should be slightly warmer than tomorrow. We've added just a little bit of cloud coverage back into the forecast for Saturday. Not really looking at anything too major here, but just some of our models have been pointing towards that possibility. What we're expecting is some moisture that just sort of pools up in the lower levels of the atmosphere by tomorrow morning. So that could lead to just a little bit more cloud coverage as we start off the day. And it shouldn't be as frigid cold as we start off tomorrow. Even at 8 in the morning, we're already at about 26 degrees, and then about 29 degrees by 8 in the morning on Sunday. So not quite the single digits that some of us saw this morning, but granted, again, pretty quiet weekend, pretty calm conditions out there too as we go into the weekend. So if you do have any Valentine's plans with your significant other this weekend, especially tomorrow, maybe you're going out to dinner, you definitely don't have to worry about roads being messy or anything like that. So looking at a pretty nice holiday ahead of us for tomorrow. Now, as we go into next week, I'll take you over to the 7-day forecast. Notice these 40s still holding on for a decent bit of next week. Monday, Tuesday, should be able to hold on to the 40s on Wednesday. Now that system, depending on how far north or south it comes into our area, we could potentially see that temperature affected by that. But pretty sure bet that we see mid-40s both Monday and Tuesday. We have 46 and we have 45. Partly cloudy on Monday, and then we start to see some more cloud coverage building up over the course of the day on Tuesday, ahead of that wet weather for Wednesday and Thursday. Now, I will say about early next week, Monday and Tuesday in particular, you've maybe seen online or heard some buzz online about 50s potentially, and that's something actually that we have mentioned a couple of times this week too. I still wouldn't totally rule it out for the time being, because even some of our models actually still point towards temperatures possibly briefly reaching 50 on Monday or Tuesday. I will say with that though, I think it's a far better chance for southern Michigan, really downstate towards Ann Arbor, Metro Detroit, Jackson, places like that. But if the wind can set up just right and we do have a good enough amount of sunshine on Monday or Tuesday, then we could possibly see those temps ushering up towards 50 degrees, more so for our southern spots like Owasso, Flint, and Lapeer. So we'll keep a close eye on that for next week. Again, I still wouldn't say it's a slam dunk by any means, but you could say technically not impossible that a few areas here in the TV5 area may hit 50 on Monday or Tuesday. But I'll take you back over to the 7-day again just to show you that Wednesday and Thursday, both rain and snow possible. These are sort of looking like or one of these systems where almost just depends on the time of day too. So in the middle of the daytime when it's a little warmer, we have the rainfall. And then towards the evening or the early morning, when it's a little bit cooler out, it'd be more so in the way of snow. But that's definitely something that still needs to be ironed out, because our models are showing a bit more split on how exactly that system is going to move into our area. But that is still, at this point, our next best chance of seeing some wet weather returning to mid-Michigan. Now, for this weekend, with the ice on the Saginaw Bay and on the Saginaw River, and with it being free fishing weekend too, we are just urging a little bit of caution for our ice fishers out there as well. What we'll go ahead and do here, we'll take a quick break. When we come back from the break, we'll talk a little bit more about the ice conditions and that ice safety. So tune in here right after the break. Okay, welcome back from that break. So if you're still sticking around here, just a word of caution for any ice fishers this weekend. Now I'll say right off the bat here for this weekend too, for our ice fishers, I do not think by any means we're going to lose all the ice or anything like that, especially because at night we're still getting down below freezing. But I do think this is a weekend with the sun and with the warmth that just naturally we are going to see possibly some negative impacts to the ice cover or some of the ice quality that we have out there too. If you maybe heard about it too earlier this week, on Lake Erie, there was that really large crack that formed on the ice, and even way earlier this week, it still wasn't that warm out. So again, just a word of caution about that. But the good part about this weekend is that we don't really have much wind in the forecast at all. So here's some satellite imagery. So yesterday we had those sunny skies, especially right here around the Saginaw Bay, and sunny skies in the winter, certainly something that we don't have too often, but when we do, it always provides some pretty cool satellite imagery. So that's a look at the Saginaw Bay from 10 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon yesterday, so right through the middle of the day. And you can very clearly see on that satellite imagery the ice cover that we have out there on the bay right now. Again, there are some cracks out there. There are a couple of more questionable areas, you could say, and we have had reports of people needing to have their machines pulled out of some of those cracks or some of those ice shelves out there too. So again, just a word of caution about that, especially because we are going to have the sun and the warmer temps this weekend. So we may end up seeing a little bit of slush developing on top of some of that ice too. And I've actually started to see it even here in downtown Saginaw because we have the ice on the river here in downtown. And at all the stanchions or all of the uprights for the bridges that go over the river, that ice is already thinning up pretty quickly around some of those too. So again, just something that we've observed, and we just want to give you that word of caution because at the end of the day, really, you can never be too safe out there on the ice, and we really don't want to see anybody getting hurt either. So just something that we do want to make you aware of if you had any plans or if you know anybody who ice fishes and is going out there for the weekend. And again, don't think we'll lose all the ice or anything like that, but just some of the ice may thin a little bit more in some spots, especially areas that were already a bit questionable. Just that rule of thumb, especially for snowmobilers and four-wheelers, because we have seen a lot of tracks out there on the ice too. Generally what's considered safe at a minimum is 6 inches of ice for those machines. I think most snowmobiles weigh about 400 or 500 pounds. Same thing with some four-wheelers too. So generally about 6 inches of ice needed for that to be considered safe. So some of those spots that might have already been thinning a little bit, I think by the end of the weekend especially, that could even be a bit more questionable too. So just wanted to provide that word of caution. But in the meantime though, for any other plans you have this weekend too, just really shaping up to be a nice weekend. And this will be the warmest weekend actually that we've had in about 3 or 4 weeks. So certainly a bit of a change of pace here just because of this warmer weather, this warmer pattern that's been moving in for now. But by the end of next week, looks like things may cool down a little bit. I don't think it'll be as cold as it was last month, but just not quite the 40s. So if you like the warmer weather, I would enjoy the 40s while you can right now. But that's all we have for you for the First Alert Weather Show this morning. So be sure to tune in to First Alert meteorologist Diane Phillips. She'll be coming up at noon today on TV5 on air. So you can catch her there, and then she'll also have a live stream like this, another First Alert Weather Show at 2 this afternoon, and that will be on the same live stream viewing platform. So be sure to tune in to her. She'll have another look at the forecast and the look at the weekend as well. But in the meantime, hope you have a great weekend, great Friday, and hope you have a great Valentine's Day as well.